didn't see.
We're on.
I didn't know.
What's up, everybody?
What's up? Oh my goodness. I'm gonna.
I know you're complaining about your hair and
I'm
my
gonna
hair.
Go bald.
I need more volume.
Look, no, you really don't.
I do.
Okay, then fluff it up. Come on.
One of y'all said I look like Bozo the Clown, so I'm gonna go for the full Bozo. There we go. I'm Judge James.
I'm Judge Evie.
Happy Cyclops Con weekend. I have a hard time saying Cyclops Con. I don't know why. Are y'all having a hard time saying it? That's bad, right?
I think so.
Okay. Anyway, I can't know who's Sigel's butt quartz.
I don't know what it means. Oh, it's probably because of Bab's rocks. Oh no.
Oh.
Or the jet.
All the rocks.
I don't know.
Anyway, so we had a great day today so far, and we've been doing lots of gaming this weekend, and I hope you've all been doing lots of gaming this weekend, and there's lots of gaming related stuff this weekend, and we had a pretty good time. You think?
We had a snazzy time. Oh, I'm sorry. They're crystals.
What?
They're crystals. They're not rocks.
Gotcha.
And you clean them with like storm.
I pronounced it
something.
Sigil because that's the name of the city that's spelled that way in D&D.
Sigils.
Yeah, I know. I said sigil. It's fine.
So what's a sigil though?
A sigil's like a mark, like a.
So marks, but crystals.
Anyway, let's get into the show. How about that?
I don't know what that means.
All right. So if you were at Cyclops Con, we would love to talk about that. This will be the Cyclops Con episode of Living for Crits. So if you happen to be in any games, please discuss that in the comment section, in the chat section. We can talk about that as we move through what we did this weekend and this past week, because we celebrated some Cyclops Con stuff a little early as Thursday, so we had something to look forward to. These are such dark and depressing times in so many ways, and we're all like alone together. Is it hashtag alone together or however it is for the CDC? But this gave us something to look forward to. And with that said, let's move into Judge Evie Presides. I heard you had an interaction with Greg.
Mm-hmm. Someone second.
So I think there was a Q&A on to dccjudgeevie@gmail.com. So I will remind everyone, if you ever want to send a question or comment to us, you can just email dccjudgeevie@gmail.com, and it will come to Judge Evie, and then she will go ahead and read it in whatever voice she has. Go ahead.
So Greg said,
"Why don't you read your mailbag in advance and prepare answers for the show?"
So then I said, I do in fact read them with, and I don't know how many exclamation points that is. It's not enough to get my point across, you know. And then I said, and I am saying that now to show you that I read that. And I said that like a day after. It was like 5 days ago.
Great, you're heckling our viewers.
He's
Great.
like, and now I have my answer. It looks spontaneous on the Sunday night.
I read them. Who said it comes up with answers? But I do read them.
This is a good point. Whether or not she has an answer for the question is a whole nother story.
Yeah.
But she does read them.
I do read them.
She doesn't tell me about them until the show. That can be a problem. Sometimes if it's a complicated question, we will write notes. We do have show notes that we put together, or I put together.
What are you talking about? I put them together too.
Okay. All right, great. Yeah. As Bab says, it's the thought that counts.
Exactly. I think about the questions in my head.
That's our only question or comment this week.
It's not even a question.
We would love to hear more.
This is Judge Evie Presides, but there is nothing to preside about.
Because you don't GM enough.
I just did it! I literally just did it!
Rachel Chappelle is on, and she says, hello, Evelyn.
Hi, Susan.
What? So her name's not Rachel?
It's Susan. And it's Evelyn.
Anyway, we would love to hear your Cyclops Con stories for next weekend. So if you have any cool stories, we would love to read them on the air. So feel free to send them over to dccjudgeevie@gmail.com, and we'll read them.
It'll give us something to preside on, you know, hence the name of the segment.
All right, on to Cyclops Con weekend and everything that we did. So as we said, we started Thursday night with Judge Evie running something. What did you run on Thursday?
I ran Mall Mall, but it was nothing like Mall Mall.
Because your Mall Mall includes...
I don't think I've ever run a Mall Mall adventure the exact same.
This is what your Mall Mall includes.
I've also never actually run Mall Mall based on what it's actually written on. Except
your Mall Mall includes this horrifying, whatever thing this is. This is terrible. So how did the adventure go?
It went snazzy. I made the entire thing up in my head on the way. I gave them the...
So it was so accurate.
I know. I gave them the whole thing,
hey,
like...
Greg.
I was like, yo, you gotta go to this tribe thing, and they're trying to, like, attack your village, and you're in a bar. You have to go find stuff at the mall. But that's as far into the adventure that I got. And I literally did nothing of the store. I have my own stores I made up. I made up what's in the stores in my head.
Let me see your list of stores.
We do not...
Wait, give me the list of stores.
Okay.
You came up with this before, right?
This is a while ago.
This is the Lucky Mall. That's a
directory.
Obvious name for a mall. What is it? Wait.
You didn't read the front page.
All right, you have a...
1 and 2 is not a thing. That was just...
Why was there no 1 or 2?
I don't know.
You have a Wegmans, a Dollar Tree, a Bath and Body Works, Forever 21, Leather Lux, Dick's Sporting Goods.
That's not a store.
1+2.
No, it's not a store.
What is it?
I don't know.
So number 10 is 1+2.
No, it's not a store though.
Bass Pro Shops, ICU. Is it a hospital?
I don't know.
Storage
It's
Solutions.
a store with eyeballs.
Witch Watch, Radio Shack, Michael's, Sleep for You. I'm not reading that one.
It's Liquid Love.
Thanks. Nursery, Petco, Toaster Time, Apple C. Oh, it's I see. Apple is copyrighted on there. Flynn's Tire, Home Depot, Flower Farm, and the food court has a Shake Shack. Nice. Tater Town. Did you make up Tater Town?
No, it's in the thing I think.
Dairy King, a Justice, a Claire's, a Build a Demon Workshop, Skechers, OPI Nail Salon, and Sweet Factory.
See, I have a funny story with the Build a Demon. So
this is a very diverse mall, Greg.
I added all of these like extra ones because like when we were at Gen Con, I had like little like play sets for the mall, and so I had like a little Build-A-Bear thing, and so I took red nail polish and I painted blood all over it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Uh-huh.
So you had and you ran it as a 0 level funnel, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Put Kermit back.
With Dark Kermit. And look, Will's on, and Will was one of your players, and he said Mall was great.
Yay!
All right, welcome, Will.
I've never run Mall the same twice.
I don't run any of my adventures the same twice.
No, like the plot's never been the same twice.
Okay. Anyway, all right. So what I ran, so I was gonna run something Friday night. I had converted Cooper's Dark Trails character and my wife's Dark Trails character over to, their Deadlands characters over to Dark Trails. And we were going to play that Friday night, but time kind of got away from us. I had to work a little bit later than I wanted to. And we're set up still to... Oh, really? That's not good for tonight. We're still set up for the Dwarven Forge to play Dwarven Forge Dark Trails. So it's going to happen. Whether it happens it might happen starting tonight,
really? And
then we'll play it. Yeah, it might play a couple rooms tonight. We might do a couple rooms through the week and finish at the end of the week. It's a 4 foot long by 3 foot wide Dwarven Forge setup with the Caverns Deep and the Dungeon of Doom. If you want to see the full setup, you can go back further on our YouTube page and take a look. Cooper and I did a video of the Dwarven Forge build that he and I worked on. So he helped with one of the rooms and I built the rest. But you can take a look through there. So we're ready to play that. We took his Sebastian Skelett character from Deadlands, who is an undead gunslinger, and just made him a gunslinger class from Dark Trails. That's a class. And then we made Mr. Zink, the zombie wizard. Or zombie huckster is what he is in Deadlands. We turned him into an occultist. And then I made an extra character in case Judge Evie wants to play, which is a Calavera, so someone who speaks to the dead. And that was Friday. And then Saturday morning. So it was, what system is Dark Trails? Dark Trails is DCC. It is a version of Dungeon Crawl Classics. If you go to Drive-Thru RPG, it was kickstarted last year. If you go to Drive-Thru RPG, you could get the bootleg edition of it. It's like the pre-release, and take a look at how that's all set up. You know, and it's a pretty cool take on the Western, and but it uses DCC rules, which is pretty great because my brain kind of resets to those rules. Whereas, you know, sometimes with Deadlands, I mix a few things up with, especially when you're adding on all the components from Savage Worlds and the old Deadlands especially. We have a bunch of comments.
Wait, I want to read them. Okay, wait.
So Andy's talking. So what is Andy's Trogdor? What is Andy saying?
Well, let's start up here.
No, I've been reading all those already.
Oh.
So Andy says you should just set up an overhead camera on the table so everyone can play. It was just like a battle mat. It would be hard to focus that thing. It's a good point, though. And then Lex says, hey, folks, hope you're having a great Cyclops Con. We are having a wonderful Cyclops Con. Saturday morning, this is not Cyclops Con stuff, essentially. We played a lot of games on our own during Cyclops Con and kind of used yesterday to celebrate the con off the books with friends of ours that we haven't played with in a while. So I got back to my Shadow of the Demon Lord campaign yesterday morning, which we're back to weekly. I did. I played yesterday morning from 9 to noon, Shadow of the Demon Lord. So we're back with the Demon Lord. And that was pretty cool. And then yesterday afternoon, we had a home group that we built essentially to play with the Dwarven Forge and to play DCC Lankmar. And because those are two of my favorite funded Kickstarters in recent years. And our home group kind of broke up a little bit because there was a virus and it kind of made things messy. But yesterday we got together and we were able to play in person. And
in person?
Well, I'm sorry, not in person.
Whoa
but online in person. Well, 3 of us were in person. Because what was the setup?
It was you. It was Mom. And that was me.
But what I got a shorter chair. So essentially I sat lower with my head like down here. And we put the camera up. So my wife and Evie could sit back here. And then our friends Cody and Shannon were able to sit here. And we were able to kind of play with the 4 of us on, 2 computers. And then I screen shared maps, and the entire adventure was based on a carousing table result. Why don't you explain what happened in the adventure, Evie?
Okay, we got a boat. We got the slaves off the boat, and then we torched it. That's the plot.
That was it.
Okay, let's wait. Definition of in person is so.
Greg says definition of in person. You have to say who said it.
Oh. Add a scoop.
No, there was no breeding.
There was no scooperia. I will add it though if I can.
The whole plot was that one of the characters, our friend Cody's character, whose name is Tulabot. Tulabot got mistaken as a what's this called? He was mistaken as a Mingle general. And in a previous game, and he had made friends with all of these Mingles, and some of them got captured as slaves, and the children, and the party was asked to go free them. We're running DCC Lankmar pretty close to what you would expect if you were reading the Fritz Leiber stories, and that means that it's the literary version. There's only 3 classes: warriors, wizards, and thieves. And there's no clerics, there's no demi-humans, there's no elves, no halflings, and I think we're having a good time with it. I really enjoy it. So I have to say, I'm gonna hold the box. This is the DCC Lankmar box set. It's got a really cool sparkly font at the top, and it is heavily packed. You can't see it, but our cloth map is on the wall here. If you go to our Twitter account, you can go online and find the picture of you running Mall, and you can see a picture of our map on the wall.
So terrible.
But I still
picture.
say to date, this is my favorite version of Dungeon Crawl Classics. I love the fleeting luck, which allows you to get luck like bennies from Savage Worlds essentially, and you get to spend them. Your luck regenerates, so but it doesn't regenerate. You get your luck back by carousing, which means it's always a random event that helps generate your luck, and those random events build the next story. So I really, really love this setting a lot. Rast Corrigan says, I'm glad you're going over the DCC Lankbar, so I don't think the Lankbar 101 seminar took place. Well, that's a shame. I would happily, if anyone wants me to do like a midweek show of a review of DCC Lankbar, I know you don't have that much knowledge of Lankbar.
I sold it to people before.
You did sell it to people, but if there's any desire,
give a description.
If there's any desire for me to do a more of a thorough review, maybe I'll do that. I've been trying to release a YouTube video once a week of something. So 2 weeks ago we did the review of the game room. This past week we did the game table, me and Cooper. I would happily go through all of the DCC Lankmar stuff that I have and some of the quirks of the game. It's beautifully done. Michael Curtis did an amazing job, crafting this thing and researching it. I know Jen Brinkman was the editor on all of this, and it's so well put together. It's absolutely gorgeous, and the system is tight. It adds a lot to DCC and takes a game that really can be very gonzo, and it tightens the whole thing up and makes it a much more traditional fantasy tale, but in a good way. It's very pulpy. It's action adventure. Your characters are a bit meatier and can take a hit. You start out first level instead of 0 level. It's a good system, and it's becoming my favorite.
What the heck is pulpy? Why'd you say you're like it's very pulpy? That doesn't make sense.
Pulpy.
No one likes pulp though, so why would you describe it as pulpy?
Pulpy is like back in the 1920s, 30s, and 40s. Like adventure tales were comic. It was either comics or it was short stories were written on very thick, very chunky, pulpy paper.
You won't call it pulpy though.
Why not?
Pulp is weird stuff in orange juice that no one likes.
No, it's pulp.
No one likes pulp. Yes.
Andy's saying that the DCC Lankmar did happen, but Rast Corrigan is saying, absolutely, I know city crawls can be tough, like Waterdeep, Dragon Heist, because traveling to a city can be okay. You're in the armor, and now you're in the pub jumping around. The map for Lankmar is fantastic. We've had 3 sessions of this campaign. The first one we did was the Madhouse meet, because the adventures in Lankmar are a meet is how you start, where the party meets together. And then we ran No Small Crimes in Lankmar, and then we ran this. We ran the adventure I called all these Mingle Children is what I called it. And then with an online group, I've run some adventures as well. I run Masks of Lankmar, which is another fantastic Lankmar adventure. So the adventures are great. Again, if you want more of a traditional sword and sorcery story, and you like a lower magic system, it is a lot of fun. I highly recommend it. If you're not a fan of Fritz Leiber's work and you haven't read the Lankmar stories, they're mostly short stories, and you can go ahead and get them online, and they're easy reads, but they are not. The characters are very multi-dimensional. Unlike Conan, who always answers things with chop chop, Fafford and the Grey Mouser, the 2 main characters, are very multifaceted and very interesting characters. So that was Saturday. That was yesterday afternoon. And last night I ran some gladiator matches with Andy and our friend Aiden. And didn't do a lot, but that was fun. That was DCC Gladiators. And then today I played in the Squeak Shall Inherit the Earth by Mark Plord of Glowburn. And that was an awesome adventure. Very well done. I would love to see him publish it. It's essentially the secret of Nim, like rats escaping from a lab and mutant rats. And it's wonderful. Absolutely great adventure. He did such a great job running it. And I really enjoyed it. Even if I nuked the adventure at the end with a I'd glow burn 25 points of my Manimal's stats to get a really, really crazy magnetic control to help destroy the big bad. And then earlier today at 3 o'clock, Judge Evie and I took place in DCC College. We were two of the panelists for DCC College. And I'm glad you ran your game on Thursday night, because that means you're allowed to be called a judge still. I think I saw Will say you ought to be called a judge.
I'm allowed now.
But if you didn't run that game Thursday night, it would have had to kick you out of that panel.
Really?
No.
Oh.
That was your first time at a panel, right?
Not at one, but like on one.
On one, right.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
It was pretty snazzy. It was stressful.
Why was it stressful?
I don't know, because
you do this every week.
It's different because that's like with peoples. Like
these are peoples. Andy's a people. Will's a people. Greg's a people.
Because like if they asked me a question and I didn't know the answer to,
Rachel and Bab are peoples.
If they asked me a question that I didn't know the answer to, I was like,
Wait, Bab, she freaked out for a solid 14 hours about this?
No.
You were nervous for 14 hours?
That was not what this is about. That did not happen. 14 hours. No, I was not terrified of the panel.
Man.
No, I was not. It was not the panel. It was not the panel.
Maybe you run some games for your friends now. We can do it online so easily.
Yeah, we're doing a shrub game.
When's this?
I don't know. You're the one that told us to do it.
Oh, you guys are running it, right?
No.
I'm running it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Anyway, and then we watched What's New with Goodman Games at dinner tonight. I made a noodle dish with a crap ton of vegetables pureed into it, and then we watched what was coming out. And I'm pretty excited to see some of the materials. I was actually very fascinated by the art for DCC Dying Earth. I'm not sure if I've ever read the Dying Earth stories, so I'm not sure how into that I am at this point. I was always fascinated by Lankmar, but hadn't read Dying Earth, so I had to give that a try. But I was really, really excited to see that there's going to be some virtual tabletop support coming out by Goodman Games, which means like adventures they're going to have will be set up so you could use them on like Roll20 or whatnot. And since my good friend Andy here put together Roll20 pretty quickly for us to do gladiator battles on Roll20, I may have to learn Roll20.
It's so confusing.
Well, maybe I'll make Andy just put it all together.
John tried teaching it to me, and I kept hitting the wrong button.
All right, so Ras Corgan says, being new to DCC. Oh, it's Rob and Jane. Oh, okay, I know. All right, so that is Rob and Jane from the. You weren't there for that game, were you? They are at the Delaware Valley Savages. So they were at the adventure where I did the wedding adventure, which you didn't come to. Okay. Oops. So, being a new to DCC, the new Tome Adventures Volume 1 sounds perfect for us to grab a bunch of adventures that most people already have in one book. Yeah, absolutely. That is I love having all the modules separately, but if they put like a really good pack of adventures together, like if one bundle had like Sailors in a Starless Sea and People of the Pit and the what's it called? The Emerald Enchanter, some of those adventures which we all already have if you've been playing DCC for a while, but and then with some new pieces bolted on, like we each have a copy of Sailors in a Starless Sea. I keep buying copies of it. That's one thing, Rob, I'll tell you about is that like DCC fans tend to buy multiple adventures with with different covers. Like we have 2 copies of that adventure. I have a couple copies of the Chain Coffin, of the box and the hardback. It's a lot of this stuff becomes collectible. Even DCC core books. We have 5 core books in the house?
Let's think. How many do you have?
I own 2 DCC core books now.
2?
Because I give mine
3,
away.
4. To who?
My very, very first DCC core book, the one that started it all for me, I gave it to Cody and Shannon.
Oh.
So I bought that on eBay, and I gave that to them.
Why did you get it on eBay?
When did I get on eBay?
Why did you get it on eBay?
Because it was the summer of 2014. I didn't know if I'd like the game or not. I just heard of it. And then I play with a Doug Kovacs cover. This is a 4th printing cover I play with, and Judge Evie plays with the Jeff Easley, right? Is that Jeff Easley cover?
I don't know.
Yeah, this is the Jeff Easley cover core book. You bought yours. You got yours from Phantom of the Attic, and I got mine. Yeah, I got mine in the Kickstarter. So I have these cool little thumb notches, and then I have an extra one, my collector's cover, which is my Peter Mullen cover with like the god aliens in there, the god monsters, whatever. So yeah, I'm sorry, I got it from Phantom of the Attic. I'm sorry, and I wrapped it up for you for Christmas. Yeah, and Will is super excited about the increased support for online play. Andy says he would put the maps together for us. That's cool. And Rob and Jane say, I think I'll buy the hardcover now and give away my softcover core book. I also ordered Jeremy Durham's reference guide from Lulu. Oh yeah, this is if you're talking these things, right? Yeah, these are awesome. We have like 4 of these in the house. Right. Judge Evie and I both have one. I have an extra one. These are amazing to have. So get a few of these. If you're judging DCC, what's great is to have one on your side of the screen and then to throw one on the other side of the screen so the players have it for quick reference. So it's an awesome must buy for the first time DCC judge. That would be a good show also. Like folks who are just discovering Dungeon Crawl Classics for the first time, like what should every first time DCC judge own? That would be a good show. The hardcover is great. You definitely need to get yourself one of those. And it sounds like when DCC Day comes out, which at some point this year there'll be an exclusive cover, which looked to me in the exclusive cover that it's like whatever happens after he goes through this door or whatnot. It's Hugh going through a door, kicking a door in. That's the exclusive cover coming out. Get yourself a hardback and maybe keep your softback cover for like letting your players beat that thing down. I don't know. I had a softback. I gave that away. I had a hardback. I gave that away, like the first edition hardback. So, and Greg has PDF on iPads. The way to go. I need my print, man. I gotta have it. Like, there's nothing better than open a box setup or cracking that book open. Like, when I'm casting a spell as a wizard, like, I love having my tome open and, like, looking at the spell and, like I'm going to cast Spiderweb. Huzzah. I don't know. That's for me. Anyway. But I do have the PDFs also of everything. And now what's great is most of... all of the DCC stuff coming out now has the PDFs that come with it, so you can get the PDF, which is absolutely wonderful. Like if you're coming to DCC from 5th edition, where like you cannot get the full print copies of everything in PDF unless you're like getting bootlegs or whatever, you can get some of the rules online. Like DCC gives it all to you, which is just great. So anyway, we did have some purchases this weekend.
You did.
I did, but some it's for us.
Yeah.
So you have 2 Cyclops Con shirts coming.
So weird.
I have a copy of Rats of Ilfmar coming, which is a new release. I finally picked up Unholy Knights in Lankmar, which was the holiday module, and we ordered the DCC convention module for 2020, which is the Accursed Heart of the World Ender. So that'll be cool. So anyway, so that was Cyclops Con weekend. So next weekend for this show, we could do something for first-time judges, or I could do a Lankmar, like what Lankmar you need to get. When will the next Shrubs game be? I'm desperate. We can set up a Shrubs game, okay? So I have lots of people that want to play with me. I know Andy wants me to get back into gaming. I had this weekend was like I released all of my non-gamingness back into gamingness. If that makes sense. It's been too long. And I have not been gaming enough. And that is a shame. And I'm sorry. But I've been kind of in my head the last few weeks with everything going on. But I really did enjoy getting back into everything. So I expect to be doing more over the next several weeks. And I will definitely get out and get some games run for all the folks that have not been gaming. I will say that you Shrubs need to, and they call themselves the Shrubs. If just so you know, the Shrubs are our home group that we had with Evie and her friends, and we would play with it with the Dwarven Forge. We would play in the house. They started out in 5th edition. We went back to DCC, but we call them shrubs because they all have a mutation.
Yeah, it's all moss.
Yeah, so it's kind of cool.
No, there's one shrub without a moss mutation, but we're gonna give the shrub a moss
we'll see about that.
No, they're gonna become moss.
But I will get some more gaming out there. I really want to run more one shots. I really do want to get more of those one shots on the calendar. Andy, you're saying you want to play more. There's if you're part of DCC RPG Pittsburgh, next Sunday there's an event. We're gonna talk. Let's do the Road Crew shout out, okay?
Road Crew shout outs. Wait. I say the Road Crew shout outs. Well,
I can explain this one though.
Fine. Explain the Road Crew shout outs.
All right, the Road Crew shout outs. I do plan on putting some one shots together, so we need to we'll be coordinating some of those. But so next week, Judge Evie and I will be playing in the DC RPG Pittsburgh group online. There's an online game with the Accursed Heart of the World Ender, and Andy, I think there's 3 seats for that open. So if you are part of DC RPG Pittsburgh, go over there and go sign up for that game. And if you're not, I can say, just message me on Facebook. I'll send you the link. But there's 3 tables of that, and I think Christopher Woodford and Mike Bolam and what's his name, Jonathan Snodgrass are all running tables of that. So even though it's Pittsburgh, we all can play online, right? So that's cool. But we used to play with those guys very regularly as part of when we were in that group in Pittsburgh at Phantom of the Attic games. And unfortunately, when we moved, we couldn't play with them anymore as easily. So that is our Road Crew shout out. There's a couple seats left. You do not have to be from Pittsburgh to play in it. So just tossing that out there. And I think they did post it on the DCC RPG Rocks page on Facebook, which you can go take a look at that too. So is it the one with the church?
No, that was our game club. And that was in the library.
Yeah. Yeah, the game we had a game club also in Pittsburgh, Bab, that was in a basement of a church.
But then I went to the library.
Yeah. Then it moved to the library.
Is it still in the library?
It's still in the library. They're not having it now because coronavirus. Yeah. All right, so it was a Kickstarter shout out this week too, and I just finally backed it. I had meaning to back it, but I hadn't. And there's 19 days left for the DCC RPG module and aid, A Strange Night at the Pint and Pony. I will put the link in the YouTube chat. YouTube channel. I will actually post the link here in the chat stream as well. You should all take a look at it. But it is 2 items. It's 101 city encounters and a pub crawl adventure. It's by Studio 9 Games, and there's 19 days to go. It is already funded, and we're in at the $20 level, the special Cyclops Con level. So you get 2 books in print and a PDF. And I believe they published an adventure prior that I own that's really cool. I haven't run it yet. It involves wild elves, so that's pretty cool. But their stuff's cool, so yeah, I'm excited for that one, and I will be looking forward to the virtual tabletop stuff coming out by Goodman, and whatever else. DCC 100 is coming out, a Harley Strode mega module. So I think that's going to be a Kickstarter. So there's a lot in 2020 to be excited about, even though there's a lot that is kind of going sour right now.
I'm going to do 2020. Oh, that's a 5. Wait. 2020.
All right. I think we're going to wrap up here. Isn't Deadlands updating to Suede this week? Yeah, I think it is. I think there's a Deadlands Kickstarter coming up this week as well. So look at that. Yeah. If Deadlands is your thing, I think it's tomorrow. Or maybe not tomorrow. Maybe Tuesday that kickstarts. So that'll be a big deal.
How did you just know that the 21st was Tuesday?
Because today's the 19th.
That just clicked so fast.
Because I looked down and saw today was the 19th on my computer.
But that was still so fast as a comment. It just came in.
I'll tell you.
Wow.
It's pretty crazy.
Wow.
All right. So if there's any more questions, toss them out here. But we're going to wrap up here. where to find us if you are new to the show. You can find us at I Live for Crits on Twitter or Living for Crits on Instagram. Or you can search for Living for Crits on YouTube for our very long catalog. We have been doing this show, this Sunday night show, for over a year.
Wow.
I know. It's crazy.
We've only missed like 3 days.
Yeah, we have not missed many episodes. So just vacations and when I was ill. And I think when we moved, I think we missed one maybe.
Woo.
So if you do enjoy this Sunday live stream, we would definitely love for you to share it with your friends, family, fellow gamers, or in any kind of social media you can share it in. We would love to get the word out more, especially, I think it's pretty clear to say that we've got a very strong love for Dungeon Hall Classics and all the stuff from Goodman Games. And any way we can help evangelize their stuff in particular, we'd love to do it. And I do want to say one thing real quick, whether or not they would watch this or not, probably not, it's just a small thing. But if Joe Goodman or any of the other team members over at Goodman Games, be it Harley or Brendan or Jen or anyone over there, I'm missing tons of people, I know, but if you're watching the show, anyone from Goodman Games, thank you so much for putting this convention together this weekend. We are so happy that it was something that we could all look forward to and be excited about. I was excited for this con all week. The last couple weeks, once I decided I was going to do it, because I was worried work was going to intrude, and work kind of made it so I couldn't run too much, but I was able to enjoy the con, especially today. And to have something like that, I would love to see another Cyclops Con this year. I know that's maybe a lot to ask for possibly, but I think we're going to be looking at online cons and experiences for quite some time. And with that said, I think there's going to be, a lot of people looking to games still. And I feel very fortunate that this is the kind of hobby we have where we can still interact with people. And I've been gaming online with people since 2009. So, that's 11 years of online gaming. And, it's been a joy the entire time. And it lets me connect with people. So
you've been online gaming for like 11 years, but try like 3 days.
I know. So, but that's a good thing, though. It means you started,
I don't know. I think I'd be beat on that one, though. Like 11 days is like, and then 11 years is like nothing.
Lex says, I got to play in 2 games and they were great. This con was a flippin' blast. Good job, Goodman Games. See?
Woo!
I think this is a way that people could enjoy a convention experience, but maybe they can never afford to go to a convention. There's not one near them. They live in Alaska or they live overseas, and it's not easy for them to get to a game convention. So this is a way they can do it. So,
yay!
Pretty cool.
Oh, wait, no.
Pretty cool. All right, so that's our show. Until next week, stay safe, stay healthy, stay together.
But not too close.
But not too close. And we're going to wrap up and do every week with a little outro ASMR. And I am just gonna say...
Oh my gosh, what'd you fling at me?
DCC Lankmar rules.
See, when you say it, it's like, it sounds so long. But like when you look on the thing, it doesn't that long. Okay. Okay. Judge!
Dude, why are you yelling?
Thank you.
Why would you yell in our listeners' ears?
I didn't yell.
Yeah, you did. That was terrible.
I didn't yell. I said, Judge.
You yelled it.
I didn't mean to yell it.
You yelled it.
I was kind of just in the
moment.
moment.
Good night, everybody.